Why, hello, friends. How's it going? I want to share something, obviously, or I wouldn't be doing a video, but something happened a couple months ago. It was a Mother's Day, and I came into the tattoo shop on Mother's Day. I had an appointment. I was, coming in to get ready, and when I walked into the tattoo shop, I noticed something was off. There was stuff that was displaced, and it just hit me, oh my gosh, the shop got broken into. And so I went to the back room, and I was just like assessing the shop, and pretty much right from the get-go, I just started praying, and I was like, God, thank you for allowing this to happen. God, just bless the people that took this stuff. And it was so funny because just the warfare was such an offense of just going into that place of, praying for the people and blessing the people, because I knew what was waiting for me if I didn't. The victim, thing, and just the self-pity and the anger and all of that. And it was so cool because God had prepared me to just be in that place of just blessing instead. So the situation didn't have an opportunity to, oppress me. And so just in all of that, I was just instantly praying. And of course I was bummed. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got appointments to do that day, the next day, and so on. And so I was just kind of looking around the shop, and I went to my station, and all of my tattoo machines were gone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like those are some of the most valuable things that I own. Not because of the value, but because of the sentimental value that they have. And some of them were custom made by friends, some of them for when I was in Japan, and just friends of mine that had built them, and just the different stories behind them. My very first tattoo machines that I've had for over 20 years, that my wife bought me one and my mom bought me the other one because we couldn't scrounge together the money. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so again, I was just like, God, I trust you. It's just stuff, And I walked into my office, and my laptop was gone and my iPad was gone. And it was so lame because I had just spent 2 months, so many hours updating my portfolio because I had been lagging on updating my portfolio. So I finally got my computer completely and totally organized with my iPad, and all of my whole entire iPad was updated, and both of those things were stolen. And my iPad and my computer are absolutely worthless. They're worth, $20 or $30 because my laptop was 10 years old and my iPad's a first generation. So the pictures and stuff on there are worthless to the people that took them, and the computer's only worth $20. So I would have gladly paid them to not take my stuff just because of the time and the energy invested into it. And I thought, oh my gosh, I don't have any portfolio, 20 years worth of tattooing out of a shop, and all of it was in my computer and my iPad. So I went over by the TV. I have an Xbox set up over there with my external hard drives, and I walked over there, and they were both gone. And I thought, who takes somebody's external hard drives? They're worth like $10, but all the information that's on there, I don't know if they were looking for passcodes or what, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like I literally don't have any. It was like having your identity stolen. But it was so cool because then I had this realization that the night before, not the night before, the night that my stuff had gotten stolen, which was that previous night, my really good friend Blaze, who does all of the editing, or not editing, but all the website stuff, I gave him a thumb drive with 720 something pictures of my updated portfolio hours before the tattoo shop got broken into. So I still had, my portfolio because of this little thumb drive that God knew the shop was going to get broken into. So he had me give it to Blaze. And it's funny because Blaze and I had talked about it for weeks, like, oh, I'll get it to you one of these days. But finally that night that it happened. So God totally had my back. So I was so thankful for that. But it was so funny, not funny at the time, funny now. But it was so funny at the time. I was just like, God, just bless those people. Like, may it bring them, closer to you, having an encounter with you somehow. And right then, I heard God say something so powerful. God said, the greatest investment that you've ever made and that you could ever make is in people. And he said, and that can never, ever be stolen from you. And I thought, man, that is so profound, like, thanks for that, God. But at the same time, I'm like, but what about my tattoo appointments and stuff today, or my tattoo appointments tomorrow? I don't have any machines. I don't have a power unit. I don't have any of the stuff that I need to tattoo. And it was like God was saying, just trust me. Just give it to me and continue to trust me with it. And I cannot begin to share with you guys how powerfully God used my friends and my family to come through. I didn't have to ask for one single thing. I called one of my friends that day and said, hey, the shop gotten broken into, and it's somebody that I love dearly, but we don't get to interact that much, that owns another shop that I used to work with. And I cannot believe the mercy and the grace that people showed me. It was so incredibly powerful and so incredibly humbling, because God was showing me I like to be on the giving side and, blessing people. But God's like, I want you to experience what it's like to receive from other people, because it gives you this deep appreciation for the people that are in your life. And my buddy said, anything you need, come over here. You can use my machines, anything, it's yours. Just come and take it. And it was one relationship after another where I had people coming through. I called another one of my friends that's this amazing guy and his wife, and they're like family to me. And I called him, and he makes custom-made tattoo machines. And I called him and I said, is there any way I can drive up there and buy some machines off you? The shop gotten broken into. And his response was, no, don't drive up here. He said, I'll send a package first thing in the morning. And I received the package within the next couple of days, and it was just so amazing. Just like I said, the love that I felt, and just the compassion, and just God's grace and mercy working through my friends and my family. And to, a lot of you guys that are watching, I just wanted to say thank you so incredibly much for your guys' just, sending money and just helping out. It was so above and beyond anything I would ever hope for or even ask for. I had one of my best friends, Damon, that's apprenticing here. He did a GoFundMe thing, and I didn't even know he was doing it. And it was so crazy, the people that just came out of the woodwork to bless the tattoo shop. And it's just an encouragement to you guys that the greatest investment that we could make is in people. In Matthew 6, where it talks about storing our treasures in heaven. Did it just get darker? That is a mystery. But where it talks about storing our treasures in heaven, the last time that I was going through that, I really felt like God was saying, it's people. As we store we invest our time and our energy into people, that is storing our treasures in heaven, because it's something that we're going to benefit from for eternity, whether it's into our relationship with God or whether it's in our relationship with other people. It's something that can never be taken from you, and it's something that will continue to grow. And I love that thought that we're going to know each other for eternity, and we're going to continue to just grow in that relationship and in that love for one another as we continue to see people from God's perspective and love with His love, with all of the veils removed. Isn't that a cool thought? Well, it's cool to me, okay? So anyways, just to be encouraged that if God's taking you through a process right now to where you feel like you have things that are being removed or taken away, that God's just continuing to line our hearts up with His, showing us that we can trust Him with stuff. Stuff comes and goes, but ultimately the people that He's brought into our lives are the real treasure. So I hope that encourages you guys, and I hope it speaks to you guys. I'll talk to you soon. God bless you. Oh, one more thing. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to watch more, subscribe down below. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.